Those are insiders, who?
Marcus, what kind of take us through the process? I mean, when did you start really getting serious about wanting to come back and thinking that would be a possibility?
uh, it really never just crossed my mind to not want to come back, but it was a decision that really needs some thinking going towards it. You know, with all the injuries over the years, I just had to really just sit down and think about, going back through the same thing as far as if I get injured again, how would I take it, or as far as just, just pushing forward and just doing it all over again. So it was a life journey, you know what I'm saying? It was a life lesson, you know what I'm saying? And I don't regret it.
How do you feel now?
I'm excited. It's been fun, this 2 day camp is it's exciting for me. I already had knew what to expect, so for me just going in, it was just all about getting back in shape and just understanding the offense
You
from
got
a
to,
coaching point.
you got to skip a semester off with Bayless too in the summer,
Yeah, yeah, but I came back in June 1st, and I hit it hard. So
You feel like you're SEC ready still? You feel like you're a guy who could put up with that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm ready. I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time, so I know what to expect. So for me, it's just repetition, learning the new offense, what we got installed, and just trying to being an influence on guys like Brandon.
You capable of having another season like we saw back in '09? Seems like almost forever ago now, but you had 30 plus catches, doing things like that.
Well, it depends on what we do. My whole thing is to play the role. Like I said in '09, I was healthy then. I'm healthy now.
Brandon, with Malcolm getting hurt, it's even a bigger deal that Marcus, get that 6th year because of that. I know that's obviously nobody wanted that to happen, but how important now, even more so, does that become?
Like I feel like it's very important because with Green coming back, he give us a lot more experience at our position. Us being a young group, like I'm just a sophomore, and Rufus he's coming up off his redshirt year, and Gus he made redshirt this year, but he's a freshman. But I feel like he give us a lot of experience, and
What's it
basically.
What's it mean to you to have Marcus back for another year and to be able to learn and be around him one more year?
Like it means a lot because with Marcus, like whatever I feel like I can watch him, I feel like I can watch him and learn something, add something to my game. I can also help him whichever way with my strengths and his strengths. So I feel like we can coexist together.
You and Malcolm were splitting a lot of reps in the spring together, and both of y'all were expected to play a good bit. Regardless of Malcolm getting hurt, but feel more, not more pressure, but more responsibility now with Malcolm out early on. I mean, in your role.
No, not necessarily. I feel like every day we train to get better. You train to fulfill whatever need that we have. So if it's needed for me to play, X amount of reps, that's what I'm gonna do.
How much did last year getting on the field, getting some reps, getting some experience, how much did that help you prepare for this year, kind of knowing what to expect and kind of some things that you needed to work on?
Well, it helped me a lot because with the speed, us playing against our defense, we're top SEC defense, so I get to learn from the speed of the game and try to like make adjustments whichever way I can. So I'm just soaking it all in right now.
Marcus, a lot of people, were impressed with Malcolm, but what have you seen Brandon do in his development?
Thing about Brandon, you can get on to him. He never gives up. That's the key thing about it. He take coaching as far as understanding his mistakes. So it be times that I might snatch him up and be like, "Hey, Brandon, you did something wrong." And just his attitude, man. He got a beautiful attitude. He like he said, he soaks and absorbs as much as he can.
Kind of for both of y'all. Both of y'all come from small school. I think y'all schools even play each other in high school. I mean, what's that level of development like coming from a small school to the SEC? I mean, both of y'all been through it. I mean, how long does it take to really for things to start slowing down for you?
It takes a lot, man. You know, I played at 2A high school, so you know it's a lot more faster. You know, being in college, you know, it's just one point. You know, when you playing one position in high school, and then you think when you get to college you're gonna play that same position, and you like, well, I might not be as good as somebody else at this position. So you know, I think with that year of red shirt, you know, it helps you seize the game from a standpoint, a side point, you know, and realize that, hey, you know, I need to get bigger, faster, and stronger.
Like you, Brandon, I mean, you were kind of like Marcus, played all over the field in high school and then just kind of concentrate. What's that like coming to the SEC?
Just like you said, the game is a lot faster, and we playing against much bigger people. You know, like going to high school, I was in 1A, 2A, so you know, we was pretty much dominant at our school. So now you come here, everybody dominant. So you just gotta try to find a way to get better, find a way to get an edge any way possible. So that's pretty much the speed, the size, and you know, even scheming. Cause I wasn't really deep in scheming at my high school. It was pretty much go out and play the game because you're better than everybody else. Now you gotta work.
Marcus, you ever think about when you guys are predicted by most to have another winning season and go to a bowl game? I mean, that'd be 4 bowls for you in your college career. I mean, that's a pretty successful career. That's something you think about, look back on.
Man, all we think about is just executing at that point in time, whether it be practice or a game. You know, we take practice very serious, so you know, our whole thing is what can we do to help ourselves. As far as for me go, is what can I do to help the team, you know, and just you know, I sit back and you know you hear that stuff, but you really can't just let that get an edge on you. So really, I don't really pay attention, but I hear it.
Marcus, you had to have been watching in the spring in the street clothes, just thinking you were done. Am I wrong in that assumption, or is that kind of more or less where your head was at?
I'm a Mississippi Bulldog forever, so you know I'm just coming out supporting at
Right.
one point in time, you know.
But what was that like for you to just kind of just watch, knowing you could be out there, but there was just that doubt and there was that question mark of whether you were going to be out there.
Well, it was just like you know, at the moment I did come back and watch, I just wanted to see my teammates. You know, I hadn't been around them in a while, so you know, just to be out there in the atmosphere of just watching Brandon Hill, watching Malcolm, watching Chad Bumpus, watching Tyler. You know, at one point in time they was just coming in, but now you know they got roles to fill. You know, so for me it was just like you know I wanted to just you know let them know I still support them either way it went.
Marcus, you talked about Tyler. How has he changed since he's been here? You've had eyes on him since he's been here, obviously. What's he been like?
Yeah, Tyler got that experience on his belt, so you know, with that being said, you know, I think he's learning that you know, hey, it's nobody in front of me no more. You know, I got to take the step. Like I said, it was roles that need to be filled, and Tyler knew that at one point in time that hey, his shot was gonna come, and I always told him, you know, you always got to be ready. You know.
Got a lot of not a lot, but several former all-state basketball players on this team. How intense are the pickup games when y'all were able to do that?
It get intense now. It get real intense. Me and Brandon was discussing earlier, you know, one-on-one. You know, I might be an old man, but
No, you don't have that old man basketball game yet, do you? Though.
No, I don't.
We've got a scene out of Rufus Warren. He's got a real big body and big guy.
Rufus could be a big target, you know. With him, it's just all about learning the speed of the game, you know. He's smart. The thing about him, he just got to learn how to play at a fast pace. But other than that, you know, he could be a big target for us.